Hello and welcome to today's video. We're baking again. My partner's birthday is coming up and we are hosting a party, or more like a little get together. I think you can't really celebrate a birthday without a cake. So I asked him what he would like and he said something chocolate orange chocolate, and I was supposed to make a normal layer cake with some orange frosting in between, but then I had this idea that I would like to try to bake a sacher cake and put orange marmalade in between instead of apricot marmalade. Today we're baking a sacher cake, and I want to say that I can't really pronounce the cake right, so I'm going to give it a one good try, and for the rest of the video I'm just going to say something and just know that's what I mean. Okay, here we go. Sachertorte. Okay, that's my best attempt of a German R. They say it from like the throat, and well, we don't say it like that. Sorry, sorry about that. But yeah, for the rest of the video, I'm just going to call it a sacher cake. I just googled sacher cake and I read the first 10 lines of Wikipedia, but you know, research. And I actually thought the cake was from Germany. Turns out it's from Austria. And okay, that's all I got. I can pull up some fun trivia maybe later if I have the time. But right now I am running on a schedule because my shift at work starts in, let's say, 3 hours. I'm supposed to leave in 3 hours. Firstly, I am going to put my hair up, so the guests want to find black hair in their cakes. Okay, and I have my AirPods in because, well, I think the audio quality is the best with these. Maybe one day I'll get a mic if I do this, if I make these videos a little more often, but for now we're going with the AirPods. Also, before we start, I have to find myself a cake tin or a cake pan. The recipe says 22 centimeters and I don't know what's the diameter of ours. I think it's 24, so I might have to look for something else. Alright, this is a bit bigger. I think this might be too big. Also, we never use this. I don't think I've used this once. We just got it from my partner's mom, who has also never used it. This is like 23, 24, 23, 23 I'd say. I think it's going to be fine. Oh yeah, and this is about 19 and a half, I'd say, maybe, more or less. So I think I'm actually going to use the bigger one. It's fine if it's just a little bit bigger. It's just going to be a little bit flatter, the cake, but I don't think that's... I think sacher cakes are pretty flat to start with. Do you have to wash this? I don't know what's in here, but I do have to wash this. Next we have to prep the pan. So whoops, this comes off. Oh, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Also, it's just water, whatever. it's gonna dry up anyway. I'm just gonna cut out the extra from the sides. Last year I made I think it was an orange cheesecake. And for my birthday last year I made a chocolate cake with strawberry filling. And for this year, for my birthday, I made a Swedish princess cake. Princess tart. And it looked really good too. So I was quite proud of myself for that. Okay. The baking sheet is in. And then we're going to flour the edges so it won't stick here. You can probably use breadcrumbs, but the recipe said to use flour, so I'm just going to use regular. I'm just going to use my hands. Just gonna wash them afterwards. I have deemed this the most effective way to do this, to like oil or coat any kind of cake thing. Just a little bit more easier to me than using like million different tools. Using our hands to do things or measure things is actually really underrated. I think it's fine. Turns out I am a little bit clumsy. The floor is fine, and I think the table is fine too, and the tin is fine. So all good, I'd say. All good. Let me just wash my hands real quick. Okay. Also, I don't know what's going on with this shirt. It keeps pulling up. Flour. Just putting just a bit in. No, can you see? I'm going to, oh, okay, I have to clean up later, but gonna sift it around. It's actually really good. We haven't vacuumed yet because there is flour all over the floor now. I'm trying to control it by having my hand here, but as you can see, like, nothing's happening. I have to show you the floor. This is what the tin looks like, and this is what the floor looks like. Before starting the batter, I'm going to warm up the oven to 175 Celsius. The bowl looks so much bigger than it is, but it's just camera. Okay, I have gathered everything. I have gathered all the ingredients, and now we're just going to make the batter. So we'll start by measuring out the dry ingredients. First, we're going to put in 6 deciliters of flour. Next, I'm adding the sugar. The recipe says to use 3 3/4 of deciliter of sugar, but I think I'm going to put a little bit less. First of all, because I bought chocolate with added sugar, so I don't want it to be too sweet. Also, I just don't like desserts that are overly sweet, and the marmalade is going to add sugar anyway, so I just, maybe we'll do like half. So just let me pull up a calculator, mostly because I can't really do math in my head. around 187.5 deciliters, but that's not a nice number. So I think I'm going to do like 1 deciliter and 75 milliliters. So it's just a little under half. Or maybe I should do 2, just in case it affects the batter. Okay, maybe I'll do 2. So 1. Oh, the oven is already done. I put it maybe a little bit too early, because now I have to run it for the rest of the batter making, but it's alright. 1 1/4 deciliters of cocoa powder. Oh, I think I need a, oh, never mind. I have a spoon. There is flour everywhere. Like if I ever needed, sorry. Like if I ever needed to make gluten-free anything, I probably would have to buy everything new, because the cross-contamination is crazy. I got food on my shirt. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to wear a white shirt. 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla sugar. That's quite a lot. Are you sure? Because usually it's measured in teaspoons. 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Okay. It's so lumpy. Why? Okay. 1.5. Was that all? All the dry ingredients? No. 1 teaspoon of salt, and that's all. Just mixing the dry ingredients. Oh, I think that's good enough. Then we need another bowl, and I already have mine. And we're going to measure out and mix the wet ingredients in here. 3 3/4 deciliters of oat milk. And because I only have 1 deciliter, I'm just going to use the same one. 1, 2, 3 and 3/4. Like something like this. 1.5 deciliters of oil. I'm going to use the spatula to just get all the oil out. See, this is what spatulas are good for. And the next step is to add the vinegar. The recipe says to use apple cider vinegar, but I only have regular, so I'm just going to substitute it. I mean, it says spirit vinegar, but I've never heard of this. So it's like the cheapest vinegar you can get. 1. The next step is to shift the dry ingredients into the wet ingredients, and after that we're going to mix it well. You do have to be careful not to overmix, so your batter don't become really thin. So the thing is, I just realized that the sugar won't shift, but I'm going to try and get all the lumps out, and then I'm just going to dump the sugar in. Okay, I am finally done shifting, and now just going to fold the batter. Last time I did like 3 or 4 different rounds before I got it dried, so I hope today this won't be the case, because I don't really have time for that. When making vegan cakes, it's actually fine if there is lumps, if you don't mix it perfectly. I don't know what's the science behind it, but I feel like it does something. Let me show you. Oh, no. Like this. And the next step is to pour in the batter. So. I'm trying to even it out a bit. Just a bit. It's all in here, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about an hour. Well, that's in the oven. We're going to brew some coffee, and the recipe says to use strong coffee. So I'm going to put a little bit more coffee grounds than I would usually. The recipe also says that if you are using cognac, you have to measure a little bit less coffee so the volume stays the same. I think it's volume. Okay, today is not my day. I just keep dropping things, but nothing has broken yet. Since I'm using cognac, I need 125 milliliters of water. Oh. Okay, now that I think of it, I could have made just espresso, but well, I have already committed the filter coffee, so I'm going to put one of these. This is 15 grams according to this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't see, but 15 grams and 125 milliliters. I think it might be just a little bit slow. The cake is out of the oven, and I have the dishwasher running, so sorry about the noise. I hope it isn't too overwhelming. Anyway, this is what it looks like, and it's still warm, so I do have to let it cool down before cutting, but I can take it out of the pan already. I'm just going to cut the edges, go over the edges with the knife, and hopefully it doesn't break or anything. And it should be done in the middle. I did test it with a stick, and well, nothing stuck to it, but I don't know. I don't really trust this. We'll see once it's cooled down and I can cut it open. But that came off beautifully. And I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to lift it and put it on this breadboard. And now I'm gonna let this cool down well. It's going to take probably an hour or two. I think the cake is pretty cooled down now. It's just a bit warm, but like only a bit. So I think it's good to cut now. I have my coffee here, and I'm going to put 25 milliliters of cognac in there. I put half of that in. And next I have to cut the cake, and the recipe says 3 layers. This is the best plate I have. I'm going to try to slide it in there, on there. This is pretty thin. I don't know, is it because, well, I've used a little bit bigger pan, but I think I'm going to do 2. And I'm so scared to do this. So scared it's going to be raw or falling apart. And I'm going to get another plate where I can put this, or I can just slide it back in here. Okay. This feels risky, but I do have to get it off. I'm just going to brush in maybe half of this mixture. We need marmalade, 3 deciliters. And this is measured in grams. Okay, it actually smells pretty good. So I'm just going to put the marmalade on top. Should I break it down a bit before I put it on? I think it might be a little bit easier to spread like this. They always eat orange marmalade in Paddington. But I mean, I've only watched the 2 movies, not really that deep in the Paddington thing. But I love Paddington, he's so cute. There's like orange peels in here. That's interesting. But I do have to say, the marmalade they eat in Paddington, it looks so good. It makes me want to eat it too. And I have this feeling that I don't really like orange marmalade, but it's been a long time since I've tested it. Maybe when I was a child. I think it's a little bit bitter, that's why I don't like it. I'm going to put a little over a half in here, like 2/3. And I also did the same with the coffee. The clock is ticking. I have like 20 minutes, but if I'm really fast, I can get this done. Next, I'm sliding the top on. This makes me anxious, but I think sliding is the best method here. I'm gonna move it just a tiny bit, so it's in the middle. I'm going to brush the rest of this coffee mixture on top of the cake, and once I'm done with that, I'm going to put the rest of the marmalade on top. I'm gonna leave like a teaspoon for me to taste. And I'm going to cover it up with a cling film, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge to wait for tomorrow, where I will make the ganache and it's poured on top. Never mind, we are not doing cling film. I don't have any. If this, is this big enough? No. Okay, I have this bowl. This isn't big enough either? Oh, come on. Second bowl. Okay, now. Putting it in the fridge. Not a big fan. It is bitter, that's why I don't like it, but yeah. Wouldn't buy this for toast or anything, but I think it's going to work in the cake because, well, the cake is really sweet. But once the cake is chilled overnight in the fridge, we are going to make the frosting. The frosting is 150 grams of dark chocolate, melted with 1 deciliter of plant-based cream. I'm pretty sure you can use heavy cream if you want to, but you know, this is a vegan kitchen. When the frosting has cooled down, you take the cake out of the fridge and you just spread it on top. Okay, a couple of days later, and now it's time for the taste testing. We served the cake already, and it was really good. I recommend this recipe. Maybe use apricot like you're supposed to, but it did work well with the orange marmalade. People did say it tasted good and gave compliments on it, so I did think that's a good sign. But now I'm back with a piece of cake so we can eat it together. And I have coffee. This is filtered coffee, mostly because it just matches the plate I'm using. And here is the cake. I got the plate a bit dirty, but well, it's just crumbs. If you can see, the bottom layer is a little bit thicker than the top one. The bottom came out a little bit dry. So maybe the ideal is to do the 3 layers and not just do like I did. But besides that, I think it was moistened really well. I think that's a word. I'm going to take a piece with everything on it, with the frosting and the jam. Also, the frosting does harden in the fridge. I don't think you can really taste the cognac in here, so you could probably just skip that and only use coffee. Or maybe you can. I don't know. But yeah. And I would recommend it with coffee, cappuccino or filtered, any coffee. It just adds to the experience, I think, because coffee and chocolate goes really well together. But thank you for watching this video and baking with me. The cake came out really good. I hope you have a lovely week ahead, and we'll see each other on the next video. Bye!